So if you're eating numerous meals throughout the day, that we're not just eating out of boredom. We're eating with a purpose. We're eating with intention. Hey, what's up, guys? So coming on here. So one of the things I guaranteed is better quality videos, better quality information. So one of the things that we have to understand is there's a lot of YouTube channels. There's a lot of different information that's out there, especially in the fitness world. And so the moral of the story, guys, find what works for you, do what works for you, do what works for your schedule, do what works for your family. Because, as a 30-year-old new dad, married, special ed teacher, personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach, there's a lot of things that I do throughout my week that I know that my goals have to still be a priority. And so now we're lifting a little bit differently for a different purpose, especially when it comes to the longevity of my life. Fitness has always been around kind of my routine. It's kind of been my one discipline that's never wavered. And so now that having a kid, we want to make sure that we are being able to do day-to-day tasks. We want to be able to grow and be able to play with your children. And so I think it's one of the things that, becoming a new parent, no one really tells you about, is because you have to make a lot of sacrifices, like not only socially, but, time. It's a lot of sacrifices toward time, but I think it's well worth it, when you make this commitment. And so one of the things I think that as a new parent that should not be non-negotiable is taking care of your health. So what we're going to do today, we're going to jump right into our 5 tips to go into a fat loss. So number 1 is going to be our low density foods. So what do you mean by that? These are foods that are low in calories, but are going to be filling and effective, especially when it comes to that macro and micronutrients to allow you to develop. If you're not tracking your macros, a good rule of thumb is to kind of find your maintenance. What is maintenance? Maintenance is going to be your current body weight composition that's going to be able to sustain that body weight. And you're going to see a lot of different information, but that's kind of one of the things. If you look at NASM, if you look at Precision Nutrition, if you look at ISSA, any nutritional book that you're going to find, it's all relatively in the same ballpark. And so kind of with this being said, at the end of the day, we've got to look at kind of like fish, berries. We're going to look at potatoes, my favorite, sweet potatoes. It's definitely one of my go-to. Sprinkle a little cinnamon in there. Also a hunger suppressant. As well as kind of oats. Not a big fan of oats. Cream of rice, cream of wheat are definitely my go-tos with a little bit of almond butter. Almond butter is going to be anti-inflammatory, as well as looking at the bigger picture is all these foods are low density, but also are going to be filling and nurturing to your body. So definitely kind of doesn't break the bank necessarily when it comes to your grocery list. It's just making a slight few adjustments to reach this goal. So, hey, what's up, guys? So we're back to it. So number 2, protein. So protein is going to be your powerhouse. It's going to be your building block. That's what's going to provide you with more energy. It's going to create a thermogenic state where your body will burn more calories digesting it. Guess what? It's a win-win, because you will be able to lose weight in the long run with the implementation of the appropriate amount of protein. So with that, protein is definitely one of those things that we talk about with supplementation. One of the things that I would recommend is to make sure that you're focusing on whole foods. Whole foods could consist of chicken, tuna, lean meats, beef, steaks. Could be any types of fish. One of my favorite, definitely fish, is orange roughy. So definitely best bang for your buck there. So looking at protein as one of the hardest macronutrients to obtain, especially when it comes to whole foods. So really kind of digging down deep and being intentional with your macros and understanding what the serving amount is per meal, and kind of dividing that up between 25 to 35 grams of protein per meal that you have throughout the day. So one of the things I do recommend is making sure you're focusing on a lot of whole foods at first, and then if you need to supplement those protein powders and for convenience, and feel free to do so. So more energy, build more muscle, lose more fat, and be able to kind of get the physique or work towards your ideal physique in a matter of months. So you're looking at, if you're able to push hard and really kind of dig down deep on your macros and hitting that protein amount, you're looking at a good about 0.5 pound to 1 pound per month of muscle that could potentially be built. However, as you get further along in your fitness journey, that pound to 1 pound is going to be a little bit harder to obtain. And so you're really going to have to crack down on even the smallest gains if you are a natural lifter. So protein, super easy, super quick. I will put a link in the bio of my top protein sources, especially when it comes to different types of recipes and looking at kind of what you can do to make sure that your grocery bill isn't atrocious. So, number 3 is pretty simple. It is strategically placing your macronutrients throughout your busiest time of the day, so where you are most active. So one of the things that I do, and I have my clients do, if we are on a cut, we want to be able to strategically place our carbs as well as our fats around our lifts. So fats, obviously, before our lifts are going to be very minimal. So we want to focus on carbs and proteins for about an hour out from our lifting. So we really want to kind of get majority of our carbs in and around our workout to get the best bang for our bucks, especially if your carbs are limited. Say you're about 120 grams within your day and you're looking to kind of do a show or looking to hit a goal weight before a vacation. We definitely want to do that so that those carbs can be utilized. And so those food sources are definitely something that we kind of strategically place between slow digesting and fast digesting carbs. We focus more on the fast digesting carbs to get in our bloodstream to utilize during our workouts and to get the most out of our bodies during that time when we're training hard. And then in the morning, so if you are sleeping and you're technically fasting throughout the night because you're not eating anything and your body's kind of absorbing the nutrients from the prior meals, we want to make sure that when we get up, we are getting at minimum 30 grams of protein with some water, and then looking at kind of our day-to-day activities and where our macros and meals need to fall. I believe that, you know, if you are like me, for example, special ed teacher, super busy, super moving all the time, hitting about 12 to 14,000 steps a day. I will get majority of my meals in the morning, as well as I'll do supplementation with protein shakes within like about a 30, 45 minute window throughout the day. And then a lot of my food will come after working out. So I'll do a bowl of cereal. My carbs are pretty high right now, but just knowing that your carbs, your macros, your food, and strategically placing those. And so knowing that if you do that and you stick with the plan and you're consistent, that you are not going over those macronutrients that you've been set. So definitely looking at your schedules, definitely looking at kind of what macronutrients that are going to be best fit for you, and then looking to make sure that we are focusing on, again, whole foods. That's going to be a big theme in this video versus that the supplementation with protein shakes. So majority of your food is definitely kind of looking at energy balance, making sure you're not eating. So if you're eating numerous meals throughout the day, that we're not just eating out of boredom. We're eating with a purpose. We're eating with intention. And then we're making sure that we are doing what we can do throughout the day to not binge eat, to not snack. If you go into the office and you're walking around and you have these huge snack bowls, I think temptation is always there. When you are on the diet and you know that you cannot have that Snickers bar, you cannot have that because it will go over your kind of your threshold or your overall macros. So that little Snickers bar, even though I would be say, hey, you know what, have that. However, if you're a beginner, make sure that you are sticking with the plan and really sticking with it on the weekends throughout the days, as well as if you plan on going out. So planning ahead, planning to know that if you're looking to go out on the town, that you have to make a plan for yourself, especially when it comes to consuming alcohol and the many calories that come with it and the dehydration. So if you're planning on doing that and you're planning on kind of working that into your plan, just know I don't necessarily think it's a kind of a win-win. it always sets you back a little bit. And so for that, make sure that you are looking at what is going to be best for you and your goals moving forward without eliminating your social life. Number 4, supplementation. So I've been talking about this a little bit. So I don't think supplementation is the devil. I don't think it's the worst thing under the sun. However, it needs to be managed in terms of you're not just overdosing every single meal with supplementation. You're not taking solely protein shakes 6-7 times a day just to get your macros. And so for me and kind of like the clients that I work with, we want to focus on whole foods. So whole foods will be our foundation. We learn how to look at food differently with that purpose and kind of what certain serving sizes look like. What does 4 ounces of chicken, what is that equivalent to in protein? So 25 to 30 grams, and being able to identify that through kind of a visual representation rather than putting powder. So one of the things, if again, earlier I mentioned I'm super busy throughout the day, we want to be able to kind of look at protein supplements as a convenience, time saver, especially if you are looking to kind of hit a certain mark and you're just finding yourself not eating your meals. Really kind of taking in some alternatives where you may be taking a protein shake once a day rather than kind of relying on that to be your only source or your most source of protein. It's going to definitely be quicker. It's not going to make you as full. So 3 things with kind of supplementation of some protein shakes with the same category. Convenience, right? It may taste super good, right? So in the moment, you're going to take in whatever the serving size you use for your particular protein brand, as well as kind of the convenience of being able to just throw it in a shaker and just kind of moving on. So definitely short and sweet on that one. Let's get down to number 5. All right, guys, so last one. So this one's going to be one of those, again, strategically placing foods, and especially when we're talking about water. So when we talk about the fluid preloading to any meals, so if you are on a diet, the more water you drink, the fuller you get. So one of the things that we kind of look at strategically is 8 ounces of water per meal across the day, looking at roughly if your goal is to get a gallon, really kind of divide that up. So that way you are, 1, hitting your mark, 2, providing you with kind of a more full feeling that you're not eating as much or you're not as hungry, because pushing that water is going to help keep your hunger kind of suppressed. And then what this does is when we preload the water, we are then kind of eating. And so when we eat, we're not feeling as hungry. We're not kind of fast eating. So we want to make sure that we're taking our time to eat our meals and really kind of savor the moment. I know when I'm on prep and I'm depleted, I really look forward to having those carbs, and I'm really looking forward to having that one good meal throughout the day. And again, I mentioned earlier is the Orange Roughy. So kind of really savoring that, and then making sure that I'm hitting my water mark as well. Super easy to do. Kind of make sure that whatever your water goal is, that you're able to kind of divide that up throughout your meals, and then looking at kind of setting boundaries and kind of setting those limitations and kind of your overall goal for your macros to help kind of work together. Essentially to kind of help you push towards that goal. So guys, this top 5, hopefully this video finds you well. And if you like this video and you kind of like the information that I would like to, goal for me is to post out once a week, hit that like and subscribe button, and see you soon.